The European Union's decision to enforce a green pass to allow travel within the EU from July 1st and linked to specified vaccines has set off a storm in India. After External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar took up the exclusion strongly with EU authorities, 9 countries have cleared Serum Institute of India's Covishield. Now it's time for Team India to unite and push Covaxin as well to be approved globally and end this vaccine crisis and this vaccine racism. It is important to understand that Covaxin works equally well as Covishield, but there has been a downturn when it comes to its acceptance across the world. We are going to talk about this with our guests, and we'll get into the details as to what more can be done to normalize and streamline the way Covaxin is obviously perceived. Joining me on the platform to talk more about this is Padma Shri Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, Chairman and MD of Nephron. Also joining us on the program is Padma Shri Professor Dr. Mohsin Wali, cardiologist and physician. Dr. Rahul Bhargava, Principal Director, Fortis Memorial Research Institute, Gurugram, also joins us to talk more about this. Dr. Bagai, first up, why is there this tilted perspective or outlook towards Indian vaccines? The world knows that 70% of the vaccines are made in India. Secondly, there was this reluctance to accept Covishield as well, and it is a matter of common knowledge and cognizance that it has been made in association with AstraZeneca, a vaccine which is prevalent and equally efficacious and popular in Europe. Why do you think this vaccine acceptance is taking time? Whereas, let me also put this into perspective, Sinovac and Sinopharm, both vaccines that have sort of plunged countries into a second wave or third wave of the COVID-19, continue to prosper. Dr. Bagai.
Hi, good afternoon, Vinay. Good afternoon, everyone. So I think this is a very clear case which deals with two major verticals. One is a lack of melanin syndrome. That means it's a skin color. It's a geographic discrimination. And the second is financial angle. So just go straight away into the details. I think the world regulatory authorities have fragmented and crumbled right in front of our eyes. There is nothing short of an obvious and very overt bias. You already mentioned the Chinese vaccines whose data is still not published in any journal worth its salt. We don't know the ingredients, we don't know the dose, we don't know the immunogenicity, the safety, we know nothing. We don't know the volunteers, how many have been tested, we don't know the methodology of the trials, zero. You draw a blank. They have been given approvals under a fictitious, questionable and highly dubious efficacy of less than 50%. Why have they been given an approval to begin with? The latest country which has faced the aftermath of the Chinese vaccine is Indonesia. There have been more than 180 healthcare workers' deaths after getting 2 shots of the Chinese vaccine. And now they are planning to revaccinate all the workers all over again. So I think both the Indian vaccines, the one which is made in Serum Institute and the Bharat Biotech, are excellent. I'll just take 30 seconds and tell you what's happened today in the morning with regards to Bharat Biotech Covaxin. It's fantastic data. They've tested 24,419 volunteers in the phase 3 trials. 2 doses, 28 days apart, over 25 hospitals. Significant amount of them had comorbidities. Age groups were ranging from 18 to 98 years of age. It was a randomized controlled trial, beautifully done. Overall efficacy of 77.8%, nearing 78%. Excellent for symptomatic relief, that is 93%. For asymptomatic, 63%. Excellent to prevent severe disease, 93%. Extremely good to prevent the Delta strain, which is ravaging the world, 65%. Very good for above 60 years of age, as up to 68%. You can't get anything better than this on such a large trial. We also know that we have vaccinated close to 35 crore people, as 350 million, and out of which about a third of them are the Covaxin. And we've had no significant problem. There is no side effects. There have been no deaths in the trial. There have been no deaths related to this in the clinical fields once it has been used. The ingredients coming to the Serum Institute vaccine are exactly the same. Maybe the pharma name changes as a brand to market it, but the Serum Institute vaccine and the Oxford vaccine is exactly the same. And I see no reason at all to have this kind of discriminatory pathways which have been laid. I think it's a financial angle, obviously, and it's more a question of harassment of the Indian vaccine industry. We have been for the last 50, 60 years a very dominant force in the vaccine industry. Try as they may, the Western countries, they will not be able to make a dent. I think both the vaccines have shown excellent results. They've had no serious side effects in the Indian diaspora. The Indian vaccine drive is going brilliantly well. We are also going to be exporting the surplus very soon. So I think there is no question that we should be relying on their approvals. I will go very clearly and state that we should market and promote the vaccines according to our regulatory approvals. Let the world come to us. We don't have to go to the world to get an approval or a nod that is this vaccine okay. Our vaccines have been okay for the last 60 years.
Correct.
There are some of the Western countries who haven't been able to manufacture a single vaccine. Look at Italy, France, Spain, Germany. They are not vaccine hubs. We are the vaccine hubs. We are one amongst the only 5 countries in the world which have manufactured this vaccine. I think it's extremely proud moment for us. Both the vaccines, are needless to say, have been very good. We also know that the Zydus Cadila is also applied. It's a very, very good. It's the first DNA vaccine which is going to come in. And we're going to get the soon intranasal vaccine again from Bharat Biotech. So we will have more than 6 or 7 platforms to play with. The results of both the vaccines, let me assure everyone, are very good. We really don't have to go to WHO or any world authority to look for saying a yes. I think they need to come to us to get their vaccines approved.
Absolutely. And Dr. Wali, what's your perspective in this attitude, or rather this anomaly that the EU and some other countries have shown when it comes to accepting Covaxin? You know, I understand that phase 3 data is still pending, but you know, the report is out now. Is this obviously related to the kind of perception that they have when it comes to the number of cases which took place in India?
I fully agree with Dr. Bagai, and these people sitting over there, I have already used that there is a lot of bossism in this vaccination field. Chodrahat I have used on your channel. This will not go anymore because we are a self-sufficient country now. We don't need anybody's help. And we have a long history of vaccine production. We have been the leaders in the market. As Dr. Bagai pointed out, yes, we have been supplying to the world the vaccines to their requirement under the brand names what they wanted. So they are marketing our vaccines in their markets, in their names. So this is something very important. They are making a lot of money out of our vaccines, and now when it comes to our vaccine, Covaxin, and they are pointing fingers. There is no reason to point fingers because out of the 2 vaccines available in India, Covishield and Covaxin, the Covaxin was going smooth. There were hardly any side effects reported. There was hardly any fear in the minds of people. People openly embraced this vaccine. They took this vaccine without much queries, without having questions raised for clotting issues and all the other issues which were raised in the West initially, and they were very susceptible about that due to various reasons. And India has been sailing through, as Dr. Bagai has pointed out, with a long history of vaccination programs. This is one of the safe vaccines because this employed the technology of whole viron inactivated vero cell technology, which is considered to be one of the very safe, and there is a long history of production of vaccines for other diseases like influenza, pertussis, polio, and they were considered very safe and well-tested vaccines used in the populations of very young age also in case of polio vaccine. And 16 countries or more, they have been in the need of vaccines now. And with the testing parameters which this third report had shown, phase 3 trials, they have done it a large number of patients. It's a 25,800 candidates were registered, out of which maximum 98%, 24,000 plus candidates have shown the results. This is regular vaccine. And the most important thing which they have done is they have tried on asymptomatic RT-PCR positive patients with a great efficiency of 63%. And I was very much touched one day when Mr. Krishna Ella came on TV, and one day he was very emotional and said, "My vaccine is so safe that I would not mind trying it on my granddaughter of 6 years." So that moment I cannot forget, that he was confident that vaccine will go good and this will give best results And now we see 93% positivity in the results, and they are very good, and they are very safe, you see. And we are very soon going to have this DNA vaccine also. That will be again a gift from the India to the world.
Absolutely. Dr. Rahul Bhargava also joins us at this point in time. Dr. Rahul, what do you make of this reluctance to accept Covaxin? Is this more to do with attitude, or do you think this has more to do with the kind of lobbying that exists when it comes to vaccine? You know, Germany and other countries, they perhaps can boast of manufacturing the most sophisticated cars, but they cannot really boast of the kind of proficiency that India has shown when it comes to making the vaccine. What do you think this is as a result of? Do we need to get better when it comes to lobbying for our vaccine? Because some of the useless vaccines that China has produced after infecting the world, that is, already find themselves globally accepted, and they don't even work.
So I think the most important thing we need to understand the quality. The Honorable Prime Minister has given a mantra of Make in India, Made in India. Now it has to be quality of India. The important thing is it took us almost 6.5 months or 7 months before the Covaxin came out with its own data. That puts us all in a state of doubt and problems, because people are not ready to accept the data which has come over from Covaxin. As an Indian, we are proud that we have been able to develop, few only nations in the world have been able to develop the vaccine, and we are one of them. Whether it be 63%, whether it be 90%, that is all debatable. That scientific community can all debate. But as a proud Indian, we are happy that we have our own indigenous made vaccine which can be utilized. But how the acceptance in the worldwide market will become ensured and the image will be seen is by producing the quality and answering the critics about the vaccine as well as the paper which has been published. If you see on Twitter since morning, people have been dissecting the Covaxin paper which has been published. Somebody talking about 4,000 people being given who were positive and still given Covaxin, 4,000 people, they were dropouts. So Bharat Biotech has to come out and defend the vaccine so that the image of India should not take a beating. It is just not Bharat Biotech, it is all about the image of India which needs to fly high because the vaccine has been developed. Let's be honest, Johnson & Johnson vaccine, single dose, it has not worked. It has not worked against Delta variant. But Covaxin has shown, though the numbers are small. So as a cumulatively, as a scientific community, we all knew the Pfizer, Moderna did have their own set of problems. Norway, 21 people died after getting the Pfizer vaccine. Nobody raised an eyebrow. Why India? So of course there is a hypocrisy as well as the vaccine politics which takes place in the wider arena, where a third world country is trying to break the shackles from a snake charming to a rich world man, rich man's countries, and trying to prove the point. This is bound to happen, and the only thing which can take care of is the quality which is made in India, and we need to be proud of this fact that Covaxin today, in spite of people trolling on Twitter about asking the various questions, we have still been able to prove at best 93, even at worst 63 to 70% efficacy of an indigenously developed platform which has been existing for a long time.
Absolutely. And Dr. Bagai, WHO chief scientist Soumya Swaminathan also said that by August, there is a possibility of Covaxin, being approved. But at the same time, do you think this is a result of all the red tapeism, all the bureaucracy? Because if the results are out, why wait that long? Why should Indians be denied and deprived of something that we already know for sure works?
So there are a few important points. I think for a very long time, the flow of the river is going upwards, which is the wrong way. It's against the normal gravitational forces. There is no other country which has produced more vaccines than us. We produce and export more than 60 million injections every year. That's not a joke. We are the suppliers of more than 2/3 of the world requirement of vaccines for the last maybe 2 or 3 decades. India produces 28 million newborns annually, and each newborn is given upwards of 18 injections. You can have a simple mathematical calculation and see what our experience is. Undoubtedly, I think we need to be looking at a very straightforward approach henceforth. Personally speaking, I don't think Covaxin or Dr. Ela needs to explain the data. Even if the data comes a little bit late, there is no fault of the Indian vaccine companies, because sometimes there are logistic and procedural delays, because the full vaccine process has been compressed from 8 years or 10 years into less than 10 months. And don't forget the Serum Institute had a huge collaboration partnership with various other countries. The clinical trials were in Brazil, in South Africa, in UK itself, with AstraZeneca in UK and Oxford in UK. So this is truly one amongst the indigenous vaccine. It's an extremely proud moment. It's not the first vaccine Bharat Biotech has made. My simple logistic question is, why should we be looking at world regulatory authorities for approvals? I think the time has come in which we have our own set of approvals. If there are certain countries which don't want to accept it, that's their problem. And likewise, if they have a green pass as a vaccine immunity pass or a passport, I'm very happy with that. But it should not only be restricted just to the COVID vaccine. I think there are a host of other communicable diseases which are transgressing the world with the air travel, including influenza, including chickenpox, including tuberculosis. Every child which gets admitted to American embassy school or British school or Japanese school gets a tuberculosis screening, irrespective of which country he belongs from, as an annual screening. They have their own norms, so we should have our own norms. We should stick to it. I don't think Dr. Ela needs any explanation or owes any explanation to anyone. The data looks very robust. There are few dropouts which happen in almost every study across the world. They've had a huge roaring success in phase 2 trials, in which it was 81% clinical efficacy. It has just marginally dropped to 78 or 79%. That's hugely acceptable. And I think we should just steamroll it on. And it's only a question of time in which the world, with the world order, will actually fall in line with what we say is true.
Absolutely. And Dr. Vali, Covaxin is a vaccine which has been reviewed by its peers, 10 scientific publications in 12 months. What more does it need to do to be globally accepted, according to you? We've run out of time. I'm going to take the same question from you as well as Dr. Bhargav as well.
With Dr. Rahul, what he said just now, we are not inferior in quality as compared to any international vaccine, and we have shown the results. The Covaxin has been safer in the country also. People have wide acceptance for it, less questions asked. And WHO, as you have been seeing, doing delays in everything.
Correct.
No delay is expected from WHO side. It has been the behavior which is now accepted from the side of WHO. It may take its own time, but we have to go forward. We have to go ahead, prove our quality, and prove that we have been pioneers in vaccine manufacturing, and we have been supplying them vaccines with or without international collaboration. And this our whole viral vaccine has safety, and this can be used, and we have shown the results with or without dropouts, which is part of any study. Even then, it was a very big study. If we consider phase 1, phase 2 trials of the same vaccine, 350 plus and 370. So this was a big data, and this should be respected. And as in every research, there are negatives and positives. They are part of the research. So we should be accepting it. The world should be accepting it, and I hope world would accept it as a safe vaccine in the days to come.
Okay, Dr. Bhargava, concluding comments from you, sir, and then we are wrapping up. Please unmute yourself, sir. You're muted. Dr. Bhargav, you're muted. You're muted, sir. Dr. Bhargav, you're muted. Okay, Dr. Bhargav, I can't hear you, sir. You're muted. Dr. Bhargav, you're muted. You're muted, sir.
From Make in India to Made in India to Quality in India, we have to do a Believe in India campaign, so as that to know people have to believe in Indian products, that they are no more inferior from the West, what is coming from the West.
Okay.
And as Dr. Bagai has said, that the standards of what we believe in, with being the second largest population in the world, we have our own standards which caters to the life of the majority of people. We don't need certificates from WHO or from the Western world to prove our quality.
All right, appreciate the emotion. Dr. Bagai, Dr. Vali and Dr. Bhargava, appreciate you joining us and giving us your perspective.